The 2005 film The Protector is certainly one of my favorite martial arts movies out there. Sure, the plot isn't great, but overall, the fight scenes are kick ass and some of the best I've seen in a martial arts film. Even though this movie is named different titles across the world, I'm calling it The Protector because that's the name of the US release, and I always known the movie by that title. So the story of this one is that a young man named Calm, he's always had respect for the tradition of the elephants in Thailand. But when animal poachers show up and steals two of his pet elephants, then he travels all the way to Sydney, Australia in order to get them back. And from there, it's certainly one of the most interesting martial arts movies out there. And sure, the story is silly. A man going to get his two elephants back, that don't scream excellent storytelling in my opinion. But it's not like the story is overall bad. It's just a little weak, honestly. But I will say what really keeps me invested, what keeps me coming back to this movie every once in a while, it's the fight scenes. Like, literally, if the fight scenes wasn't as great in this one, then this whole movie would have been nowhere near memorable. The fight scenes had saved this movie from being mediocre. Because let's be real, everything else in this film could have been proof upon even more. And despite how this film has a weak ending, overall, this is still an entertaining movie, even nearly 20 years later. Ironically enough, this is the movie that got me into watching the other films Tony Jaa has been in. Sure, I haven't seen all of his movies, but the man is an amazing fighter. Speaking of which, his performance as Calm, it actually was decent. Calm is an interesting character only because of his great in fighting skills. I mean, the guy's a badass. When he's jumping around in the film, and doing those kicks and punches, I'm like, man, they really went far with this film. Like, the fight cinematography is just downright amazing. Speaking of which, I thought overall this film, it does have some weak moments, to be honest. The middle of the movie is aimless. And some of the characters aren't memorable whatsoever. An example of this is the antagonist, Madame Rose. She's not a great villain, to be honest. We don't know much about her. We know she comes from a powerful background, per se. And what I found interesting is that the actor that played Sergeant Mark, he did a decent job. His character wasn't that impressive, to be honest. I mean, he's a cop. He gets caught up in the triads business. But ironically enough, I found out that him and Tony Jaa has been in a few movies together. And speaking of which, overall, I thought the other characters such as Pia or even Johnny, they're just one dimension. Nothing interesting about them, to be honest. They're just there to move the plot forward. In fact, to be honest here, there's really not a character other than Calm that I thought was impressive. There's not a character that stood out to me. Calm is an exception because he fights so well. Now, this is a spoiler warning, but near the end of the movie, when he finds out one of his elephants was killed, he sees the statue, the bones. Then, the guy he's pissed off. He breaks bones, he destroys ligaments. The guy is definitely so angry that he's making these guys pay. That's probably one of the most badass scenes in the film. Just him taking out all those henchmen. He is seriously hurting these guys. I don't blame him because he grew up with that elephant. He knew that elephant as a child. And sure, the story ain't great, to be honest here, but honestly, it's the fight scenes that really do it for me. Could this movie have gotten better character development? Absolutely. Could the plot been stronger? Of course. But I think this film is interesting for what it is. And while I haven't seen the sequel, I heard it's pretty awful, so I don't know if I'm ever going to check that one out. But this movie right here, definitely it's a thrill ride from beginning to end. And sure, it does have some weak moments all throughout it. I don't think this is a bad movie. It's entertaining for sure. And definitely such a interesting martial arts movie that if you haven't seen this one, then definitely check it out because I believe it is definitely worth the time. I'll give this film a 7 out of 10. If the story and the characters were better, then I certainly would have gave this a higher rating. As it stands, this one is a decent watch in my opinion. And the music is enjoyable. There are some funny lines in this film, especially from the character Mark. But overall, I find this film thoroughly entertaining despite the flaws that this film does have. And that's my review of The Protector. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.